Hello everyone. What is justice? At the International Criminal Court in The Hague, judges are now asking whether there are substantial grounds to believe that former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte committed crimes against humanity during the war on drugs. This is not a trial. This is a gatekeeper stage, the confirmation of charges hearing. And like in A Few Good Men, the courtroom is demanding the truth. At the International Criminal Court, this phase determines only one thing. Is there enough evidence to move forward to trial? Not guilt, not innocence, just whether the evidence meets the legal threshold. As Scripture says, do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment. And that's from the Gospel of St. John, chapter 7, verse 24. That is exactly what the judges must now do. The prosecution argues that the killings during the anti-drug campaign were not isolated incidents, but part of a widespread and systematic attack against civilians. Their key pillars were, number one, the pattern of killings, repeated police reports using the same nanlaban narrative, where nanlaban describes that the suspects allegedly resisted and fought law enforcers. Prosecutors say the consistency suggests coordination. Number two, public speeches. They cited Duterte's own words, including, open quote, in Davao, I used to do it personally, just to show the guys. If I can do it, why can't you? Close quote. The prosecution argues that words from the head of state matter, especially when repeated publicly. And number three, command responsibility. Under ICC law, a leader can be criminally responsible if he had effective control and failed to prevent or punish crimes. The prosecution's message: this was not chaos, it was policy. They told the court, while this court cannot reunite victims with their loved ones, it can help reveal the truth. Here's where legal philosophy comes in. Legal scholar Michael Scaperlanda argues that law must be rooted in the dignity of the human person, not just procedure. Catholic legal theory insists law exists to protect human flourishing and the common good. Genesis chapter 1 verse 27 says humanity is created in the image of God. Genesis 9 verse 6 connects that dignity to justice. If law forgets the human person, it loses its foundation. The prosecution frames this case as accountability for victims, not politics. The defense responded forcefully. They argued, there is no direct written order to kill. There is no smoking gun. Political speeches are not criminal commands. Lead counsel said the court must decide based on evidence, not emotion or political rhetoric. Their central claim: you cannot equate harsh anti-drug rhetoric with legal proof of crimes against humanity. They challenged the couple of things, witness credibility, statistical interpretations, the link between speeches and specific deaths. This is the classic courtroom tension. You want the truth? But truth must be proven, not presumed. Scripture warns judges, you shall not pervert justice, nor show partiality. And that's from Deuteronomy chapter 16 verse 19. Justice must be impartial, even when emotions run high. Michael Scaperlanda warns modern legal systems often operate on a thin view of the human person, focusing on rights without grounding them in moral foundations. He critiques the idea that liberty means defining one's own concept of existence without reference to objective truth. If law has no foundation, no moral anchor, it becomes procedural only. Jesus warned, "A house built on sand cannot stand." And that's from the Gospel of Matthew 7, verse 26. This ICC case forces a global question. Is international law merely political, or does it reflect real moral accountability? The judges will now deliberate. They can, number one, confirm the charges, or number two, confirm partially, or number three, decline to confirm. If confirmed, the case moves to full trial. If not, it stops here or is amended. As 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10 reminds us, we must all appear before the judgment seat. In the Hague, human judges decide whether this case proceeds. But beyond that courtroom lies a deeper truth. Law, power, and justice are always accountable to something greater. This hearing is not about drama. It is about whether evidence justifies trial. It is about the dignity of victims, the rights of the accused, the limits of state power, and the meaning of justice itself. Like a few good men, the courtroom asks, can we handle the truth? The judges now decide. If you're looking for courtroom strategy and legal technicalities, this channel may not be your destination. We are here to reflect on the faith dimension, the moral truths, the biblical foundations, and the dignity of every human person. If that speaks to you, subscribe and walk with us. Because even when earthly justice feels uncertain, the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for Him. And that's from Isaiah chapter 30, verse 18. And His judgment is perfect.